Hello, my friends. Welcome, all of you. Almost 109,000 starseeds, light workers, wanderers to this beautiful session. Today, I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to answer very interesting questions and also to find out the truth about the recent events which happened. In this session, the Galactic Federation, they have answered what was the real cause behind the recent earthquake which happened in Japan on, I believe, the 1st of January in this year, and the real truth has been revealed. And I send love and light to all those who were affected by the massive earthquake which hit Japan. And also in the session, the Galactic Federation explains how does soul communication occur. Okay, so this is really interesting. I learned a lot about the different types of soul communication and how does it work. And also in the session, Galactic Federation have revealed the aspect of the truth behind what really happened in Miami. Recently, there was a lot of media coverage, as well as a lot of people were talking about the supposed alien beings, or maybe it was something else that was seen in Miami. And I think, many of you already know about this, but the truth has been revealed, and it is not what we think it is. They have stated that if we see something on our television, if we see the signal, we need to switch off our devices. So what is the signal that when we see it, we need to turn our devices, has also been described in this session as well. And also in the session, Galactic Federation has described simple methods of protecting ourselves from negative energy drainage. The question was, how can one entity protect oneself from another entity who is draining the energy? And a simple method has been given. It is absolutely amazing. And also towards the end, I believe the Galactic Federation answer about how we can stay in touch with the Creator's consciousness within ourselves. This was absolutely amazing, and I hope you enjoy this session. And also, before the session begins, I want to say big thank you to all of you who have recently joined on my Patreon, because I have around 400 plus censored sessions which you can watch on my Patreon, as well as I release almost 3 times a week. If you want to dive in deep into your spiritual journey and learn more about spiritual ascension, then you can join it. The link is on the description. Also, I want to say big thank you to all of you who take the time to like this video, because your like is a service to humanity, and with this it will help it to reach to others who need it, and you're also doing a service to your own self. With that being said, I hope you'll enjoy this session, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation now in communication through this instrument's internal communication systems at this timeline. We are here to offer our thoughts and insights, which are being transferred through the inner silence of this instrument, which has allowed this communication to occur without any interference from its own thought forms. However, we recommend all beings who shall listen to our messages at this timeline to use inner discernment when listening and trusting to our thought forms, which is in a way a guiding tool for all beings in this timeline to recognize and understand the clarity of experiencing greater levels of balanced nature of regularization of thought forms in this illusion complex. Therefore, the first query relates with the understanding about what caused the earthquake in Japan on your space-time recently on the timeline of 1st of January 2024. We must firstly state that the aspects of the earthquake was primarily created in coordination with the negatively oriented Orion social memory complex who want to exert their dominance over the Earth planetary sphere. These entities primarily have used their advanced technology, which they have also given to many of those human entities who are their counterparts, and they had conspired to utilize a weather manipulation device which was hidden in the depths of the location known as Antarctica. This device primarily has been inserted through the collaboration with the various negatively oriented service to other entities of your human social memory complex who primarily have the power to manipulate atmospheric environmental situations. Furthermore, this was coordinated in order to not only destabilize the various regions of the Earth planet. This aspect was created by also using the exploration of scientific understanding beneath the veil of distortion known by your people as CERN, wherein the aspects of the creation of such a type of seismic manipulating device was created. This was done under the orchestration of Orion Social Memory Complex, Reptilians Social Memory Complex, and their counterparts. Further, during the recent time of distortion known as earthquake which happened in Japan, the aspect of the vibration of seismic activity were distorted by attaching with the Earth's electromagnetic fields and the vibration of creating fault lines within the tectonic plates beneath the location known as Japan through the use of the CERN particle accelerator as known by your people. Furthermore, we must state that this was primarily done, as we have stated, upon your planetary illusion complex. The other portion of the query relates with how does soul communication work. We must state firstly that soul communication primarily encompasses profound exchange of understanding, which may be beyond the thought forms of common understanding of your people. In terms of scientific experiences, this aspect primarily revolves around receiving messages from a multi-dimensional or multiple multi-dimensional sources and transmitting from the multi-dimensional facets within oneself, which is found within all beings in the various universal complexes. Furthermore, by understanding and recognizing the multi-dimensional communication is crucial for each mind-body-spirit complex, even though many a times the process of multi-dimensional soul communication happens in a manner which may be subconscious, which is primarily often overlooked. We must state that between the linear and non-linear communication, there are a distinguishing factor which is essential to distinguish. Furthermore, we must state that linear format as seen upon your planet is in the written and spoken languages, which follows a structured progression and pattern of one thought form of words after another, which may be considered as creation of sentences in a linear manner. Furthermore, this linear pattern primarily is characterized via the human communication, which primarily occurs in the domain of one timeline. Furthermore, this primarily also provides the understanding about the nature of how the brain complex processes information upon your illusion complex. Further, the difference between non-linear communication is primarily of a different type, wherein non-linear communication primarily is the communication of all possible timelines compounded together, which may be unreadable by your people. However, this aspect of non-linear communication is primarily characterized by the vibrations of communication through internal understanding of the information, which may be downloaded from the Akashic records or from other soul communication systems by communicating with other entities. We must also give an example that this communication of channeling is but a linear form of communication, since we cannot express ourselves through the vibratory sound complexes of your planets in a non-linear fashion. It is much like understanding the aspects of information from all timelines being received in a single time, which may lead to misunderstandings upon your planetary sphere. However, the understanding of this aspect is primarily important, since the spiritual communication at the core happens in a non-linear fashion. Furthermore, we must state that the other aspects of the query relates with how can entities protect themselves from another entity stealing its energy, and how this energy stealing operates upon your planetary sphere. We must state that in the earthly illusion complex, the aspects of energy transference primarily is an aspect which traverses multiple dimensions. Entities in their diverse forms primarily interact with each other energetically, which fosters exchanges that encompass sharing, influencing, or inquiring potential appropriation of energy. Furthermore, the aspects of safeguarding of one's energetic frequency is a multifaceted approach which primarily resonates with the vibrational frequencies that may be of a unique nature to each individual mind-body-spirit complex. Therefore, establishing of energetic boundaries with self-awareness, intention, and thought forms is a foundational shield, which is able to shield against any negative entities. Furthermore, this primarily encompasses cultivating self-awareness and maintaining a harmonious energetic frequency or state of consciousness, which can be equated with the state of balanced emotion, such as peace, joy, happiness, or any other positive emotional state, which must be nurtured, that will provide for resilience against external influences. Energetic appropriation primarily manifests through various types of means, which often involve subtle manipulations or imbalances within the energetic field of the individual entity. Furthermore, some interactions with other entities who are of different vibrations can lead to drainage of vital energies, creating imbalances or emotional turmoil. Such entities are those entities primarily who create emotions of fear or anxiety or discomfort within the internal bodily complex feeling state of the affected individual entity. Indeed, every time an entity who is of a higher vibration interacts with entities of a lower emotional vibration state, The entity of a lower emotion state always wants to pull the entity of a higher vibration state to the lower emotional state by inflicting words or thought forms of negative nature, actions of negative nature, and other attributes which may be of negative nature. However, we must state that an entity who has already stabilized in a higher emotional state cannot be affected by a lower vibration entity, since the higher vibration entity who is in the emotional state of peace, love, joy will see through the tactics used by the negatively oriented entities to pull it down in its vibrational state. Therefore, these entities are immune to such types of distortions. We must state that also a simple method of visualization by surrounding the self with a white light which shall be infused with love vibration is a best way in which each entity can protect itself. This process can be done prior to waking up in the morning timeline of your planetary sphere, wherein each entity who wants to protect itself can cover itself by imagining a white light of shield covering its mind-body-spirit complex, which shall protect it from any type of negative distortions in the timeline. Furthermore, we shall answer the other query related with what is the truth about the events of supposed alien beings spotted in the location known as Miami by your people. We must firstly state that the recent sightings of peculiar beings in the location of Miami of your Western Hemisphere primarily might not be understood properly by your people. Upon scanning, we find that these were indeed reptilian humanoid entities who were primarily 90% humanoid beings. However, 10% of their bodily complex was transmuted and genetically modified to have the ability of reptilian entities, such as shape-shifting and other ability to enter into the shadow realm. We must state that these reptilian entities primarily were unable to control this technology during the incident which happened in Miami, which primarily resulted in them having these types of distortions which were found by the people of your planet. Furthermore, we must state that if such types of images or such types of beings are showcased upon the television or any other devices of your planet, it is requested that all beings must turn off the devices when such types of projections are transmitted, since the reptilian Orion social memory complexes upon sight also transmit negative vibrations. Hence, each entity must protect itself at this timeline. The final query relates with the understanding of a simple method to remain in alignment with the Creator's consciousness. We suggest each entity to practice simply the movements of conscious awareness through the bodily organs and sensations. This primarily requires the understanding that thought forms are primarily attached to consciousness only if the consciousness remains static in a certain location without awareness. This leads the thought forms to use the conscious attention. Furthermore, we must suggest that the consciousness, attention, or awareness must be moved faster than the thought forms can catch up to the conscious attention within the bodily complex. This can be done simply by moving the conscious awareness through various bodily organs, simply by cycling attention from the top of the head, ears, the eyes, the nose region, the throat region, and slowly moving downwards the bodily complex by taking attention to each point. In the bodily complex, this practice, if done properly, will elevate the attachments of thought forms to consciousness, thereby uniting truly with the Creator's consciousness, and will allow each entity to remain in the present moment's awareness. Hence, we, the Galactic Federation, now, having answered the queries, send love lights to all who listen to our message, and we leave you now, beloveds. Bye.
My friends, in this session, the Galactic Federation, they have revealed to us very interesting concepts and topics. Firstly, they have stated that if in this session that the video of a reptilian shapeshifter, a real reptilian shapeshifter, not a picture or a representation, but if it is a real video of a reptilian shapeshifter, then we need to turn our devices because it may affect us in our energetic field. The reptilian beings, they are very powerful, because recently in Miami, I believe it was being that was being showcased in TVs, in mobile phones, in news media outlets, everywhere. And the shadowy beings they have stated were actually reptilian beings who had come there. It was pretty intense, and what they have stated was that it was actually 90% human being and 10% reptilian body. They were actually, I believe, testing their reptilian shape-shifting abilities. However, it did not go as planned. And also, in the Japanese earthquake, Galactic Federation stated that it was caused by CERN, which was used by negatively oriented entities. And I believe some entities who were unknowingly following the negatively oriented entities' agendas, which caused the earthquake to happen in that location. Furthermore, they have also stated in the session was that to protect ourselves from any type of negative energy, taking of negative energy, or from another entity taking our energy, we need to stay in a higher vibration, emotions such as peace, love, and joy. And when we do that, we will protect ourselves from any type of negativity. That's what they said. And also, we can imagine ourselves surrounded by white light, which is also a great method of protecting ourselves. And regarding the soul communication, I understood that there are two types. One is the linear and the other one is the non-linear. So the linear one is simply like we use language, written as well as verbal language, which operates in a linear fashion. You need to read it sequentially to understand it. And then there is something that is non-linear communication, which occurs, I believe what they said was information from all timelines. They are sent together. So it is very hard for us to understand because our brain can only perceive one timeline, but there are souls. Our soul can understand that communication. That's what they said. And also a simple method of connecting with our Creator's consciousness. They stated that we can cycle our attention through our bodily organs or different points in our body, but we need to do it faster than our thought forms, because our thought forms usually when our consciousness or our conscious awareness is just lying there, not doing anything, our thought forms use it and they attach to think about future or the past, and it creates lots of psychological problems for us. We are not able to live in the present moment as well. If you do this, like for example, simply focus your attention on the center of your head. You can then take your attention to your right eye, move it to the left eye, then take it to the left ear, the right ear, to your tongue, to the center of your tongue, to the back of your tongue, to your throat. Then you go down shoulders. As you do this, as you go through all of your points, and you do it at a much faster pace than your thought forms can catch your consciousness, you will be free from any kind of thought forms which are not of the present moment. And this is absolutely amazing. I really enjoyed the session. I hope you also benefited from this session, and I want to say a big thank you to all of you who have sent me emails for your past life, your soul journey, as well as any other information which you may want me to channel. I will help you out. You can send me an email. Also, I want to say a big thank you to all of you who also visited my website, where you can find transcripts of all of my sessions. And if you have any topics which you want to search, you can search it over there. It is really easy, functional tool which you can use. And with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this session. I'll see you in the next session, my friends. Until then, enjoy this session over here.